Hey, welcome to the podcast. Today we are talking food, my favorite subject, and how to make awesome, delicious food fast with a special little process that my guest, Allison Schaaf, will be talking about. So here's the deal. She is the founder of Prep Dish, and what makes her really interesting is she is a registered dietitian, but she actually went to this super cool school where it was a culinary school and a nutrition school at the same time. So for 4 years, she was learning nutrition in the kitchen. I mean, when you hear this, you're like, why the heck isn't it always like this? Like, doesn't that make so much more sense? So very, very cool setup. She is an MSRD. So when she finished that, she went off to graduate school at Tufts. So I don't really know. I'm trying to think of like who else I know out there who's both like a chef and an RD nutritionist. It's pretty cool. What she's created, and you are going to get a sampling of it, is Prep Dish. And it's a subscription-based, gluten-free, you know how much I love that, Paleo meal plan service. And it gives you the tools you need for getting healthy, tasty meals on the table every night, fast and easy. And that's her cool thing. And we're going to be talking today about simple things you can do to make easy meals that taste delicious, that your whole family will like, even the picky ones, what tools you need to have, some of her favorite spices and oils. She surprised me with one of those. And I also want to just give you a heads up on the cool thing she's giving you, which is a meal plan. So the recipes, the grocery list, what you need to do to set yourself up and give this a go. And you're going to get that free, my favorite word. And you can get that by going to jjvirgin.com/prep dish. So make sure you grab that super awesome thing. And again, she gives you the recipes, meal plans, the grocery list, everything you need. Like all you have to do is get the stuff and get going. Simple. All right. Welcome to the show, Allison. I'm so glad you're here with me today.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat with you today.
Well, I always like talking food. It is always near and dear both to my heart and everyone listening. So I would love to dive in because you have a very unusual upbringing to be a culinary expert and a registered dietitian. So you went to culinary school before grad school?
I did, yeah. I really found my passion for cooking in high school and I always loved nutrition as well. And I found a program that had a culinary nutrition degree. So it was a bachelor's program, but it was 4 years primarily in the kitchen. So for me, it was a dream come true.
Wow. It's kind of like what really should happen. Actually, I think like, wouldn't it be cool if every nutritionist, every doctor had to spend like a year in the kitchen? And only be allowed to heal people with food. Think about that. Oh my gosh.
And vice versa, right? Like every chef should understand nutrition. So I really
would that be a game changer? Gosh, imagine things like, Barefoot Contessa and Paula Deen and the Pioneer Woman if they had to take nutrition courses. I'm always so frustrated. I'm sure they're amazing people, but I'm always so frustrated because their books sell, hundreds of thousands of copies within the first couple of weeks. And I'm looking and I'm going, oh my gosh, it's a donut with a burger in it. Like, So I'm very excited that we've got like a culinary artist, nutritionist on the line. So when you were in school, and here you are in nutrition school learning to cook, like what types of things were they teaching you? What were some of your favorite things that you learned?
Well, it was interesting because this was about 15 years ago now. I'm kind of aging myself, but back in the day, we did learn things like light and healthy desserts, but that at that time was sort of, low fat cooking and all of that. But
oh yeah. I remember cooking light. Yes.
But we did learn a lot of really cool things like, athletic cuisine and how to cook for athletes because, the things like smoothies and figuring out how to get that many calories into an athlete and food science courses. So learning, why you would, put certain foods together and the chemistry of why, a soup would thicken and maybe over time it would like lose its thickness or, just diving into all of the whys of recipes and cooking. So it was really interesting.
So then you went to grad school at Tufts, and then you came out. Now you have this business where you do meal plans. So how did that happen?
Yeah, so my first business out of grad school was a personal chef company. It was actually something I had done in high school, and I realized it was kind of the perfect way to pair together the culinary and the nutrition. Is, I can go out and cook for people, because if you just see them as a dietitian and try and tell them to eat healthier, it's really hard to translate that. And so I just jumped in and was doing it for them. It's the easiest way to get people to eat healthy. So I really enjoyed that and enjoyed getting to know my clients and see a difference. And but it was such a small audience. I capped out at maybe 6 clients because there were only so many clients I could see each week. So in doing this work, I realized, well, gosh, how can I translate this from 6 people onto the masses? And that's when it hit me that I had this system, because I had this system that not only was I using for my clients, but I had to start using it for myself. Because when I would come home at night from cooking all day, the last thing I wanted to do was start from scratch and make a healthy meal. But I also had a rule that I had to eat as good as my clients. And so I always made sure that I was cooking good food for myself. And so I started doing the same process for myself that I did for my clients, which was once a week meal prep. So with my clients, I visited them once a week and kind of stocked their fridge for that week. And I started doing the same thing for myself. So it was, Sunday afternoon, I'd do all my chopping and put together my marinades, and then I would be set for the week, and all the work was done in just that one little time block. So when I wanted to translate my work and reach more people online, I realized, well, gosh, I have this system. How can I teach others to do this system? And that's where the idea for Prep Dish came from, as I started writing down my recipes, simplifying them, and sending those out weekly so people could do it for themselves.
So let's look at that, because, I've heard a lot about take Sunday and prepare all the meals for the week. And it sounds great, but also sounds like you have to be super organized to do it. And so how, does this then mean your whole Sunday you're cutting vegetables up? Or how does this all lay out for someone? How much time would it really take them following this to be able to do their meal prep for the week? Because I've kind of gotten it down where I can do it pretty quick each day, but I think I could be a little bit more organized on the weekend.
Yeah.
So walk us through that.
So it's usually so we have kind of 2 different plans. And so it's between 1 to 2 hours on the weekend. Or it doesn't have to be the weekend. We have people that say Monday evenings, I just get it all done, or, so whatever time, whenever you can find that time. But really the key is to go through the process and then realize how much time you're saving. So that 1 to 2 hours is saving the time of maybe that extra trip to the grocery store, sitting in front of the fridge and then starting to Google recipes based on, what ingredients you have left in there. And so it really is eliminating a lot of the time that you would otherwise spend.
And just sitting in front of the fridge, waiting for something to show up that you think is going to magically appear in the fridge. It's always there's nothing in there. And then the other part of it, I had these clients who literally went out to dinner every single night because she didn't want to cook. And I go, you do realize that you are going out to the amount of time and money, and then also not being able to control what you actually are really getting in your food when you eat out. My gosh. Right.
Exactly. So, if you can just be a little more thoughtful and plan and have a plan ahead of time, it really does. It saves all of those things, the time, the money, and you're eating healthier. So really setting up, batching it, doing a lot of the prep once a week. What are some other tips for being able to do this? And because I would imagine eating at home more, there's a couple clear benefits. 1, you actually spend more time together. 2, you save money. And 3, you can actually control what's in your food. So what are some other reasons to eat at home? And then what are some ways to make it easier on us? Well, the number one reason, and the thing that really gets to me when I hear from my subscribers, is you kind of touch on this, but it's sitting down to a family meal. And you can't put a price tag on that. There's something to be said for sitting down around a meal and sharing how your day went and being able to do it in a relaxed manner, not having that hectic, crazy scramble right before dinner time, but being able to put that, dinner in the oven and then just really connect as a family. That time is just so important. And so, if I can help people carve out that time, I feel like that's always a win.
So what do you do? Because I've heard this from different clients, as I would walk them through the virgin diet and tell them which foods we were going to pull out, they go, oh, but I have to cook for my family.
Yeah.
I think there's still a myth out there that like eating healthy doesn't taste good and the family won't like it. So I'll just feed them. I'm like, well, what, do you not like them? Like, what are you going to feed them? You know?
Yeah. And that's something we really work to do, is to get all of the families eating together, eating the same meals, getting over that hump of thinking like, I have to make something different for everyone in the family. And what happens is when people start eating this way, they realize that they're eating it, and then the kids, they do start modeling your behavior, you know, and it may not happen on the first try. It may not even happen on the second try, but over time they will. As one of our subscribers said, she said, in our house, new is the normal now. And so they're used to it, and the kids actually will try it because they know that it's not the same thing every night. So they know there's no danger in trying it, because the next night it's going to be something different. And then, you know, she has some staples that she throws in, but I thought that was great that like new is the normal around here.
Yeah. Well, and also, you know, one of the things I found early on with my kids is the more I could involve them,
Yes.
you like support what you create. So I wasn't going to give them big sharp knives when they were little kids, but you know, there's a lot of things they can do. So what about kitchen equipment? What are some of the things that you have that you just absolutely must have?
Yeah, well, so if you're going to be doing some meal prep, which mainly just means, you know, cutting those vegetables ahead of time, or, you know, maybe mixing up a marinade or a salad dressing, you're going to want some containers. Most people have these, but, you know, a nice glass container with a BPA-free lid would be nice to have. But I find that sometimes people in their head think, oh, well, I don't have a fully stocked kitchen. And that's usually not the case. You know, as long as you have a nice cutting board and a good knife, maybe food processor or blender, but really other than that, I find that most people's kitchens are pretty well stocked. So if maybe someone's thinking they don't have a stocked kitchen, it might just be more of an excuse rather than the actual reality.
That's a good one. I know, it's amazing. I've been using like a NutriBullet blender for years. I just finally got a Cuisinart. And most of the time I don't even pull it out. I just use the blender because it's on the counter. It's just easier. So simple. Now, what about your favorites? Like walk us through one of your favorite meals to prep.
Yeah, so I mean, it really varies depending on season. So in the winter, I love to have like a nice stew or soup on hand. We have a pizza soup recipe that kind of has like bell peppers and olives and some of that. And I really love having that, especially because you can make it and not only make some for that week, but then you can stick some in the freezer. So then, you know, maybe in a few weeks when you're running low on time, you have something that you can just pull out and have a healthy homemade freezer meal. I really like when they can do double duty in that way.
Yeah, me too. That's fantastic. And do you do those like crock pot, or is that just something like, are you a big crock pot gal, or what do you do with that?
I do crock pot, yes. Crock pot or just on the stovetop, but I have gotten more into the crock pot. I do Instant Pot or like a pressure cooker sometimes. It's interesting because I always am surveying my subscribers, and not everyone has the Instant Pot yet. It's about 50%. So it's a large percentage that have one. And so what has magically happened is our Facebook group they're very active and so supportive, and they've just gotten on, and the ones who use Instant Pot, they'll post weekly on how to, you know, translate everything into Instant Pot. So I thought that was just wonderful when that happened, because I don't want to, you know, have a recipe and only half of my people can actually, you know, have the tools to make it. So I'm very cautious of, you know, and aware of making sure that the recipe is realistic for the audience. So I
just got it. I got an Instapot for my son last year. My son, here's the funny thing. My son, who's 20, for years when he was in high school, like he was always watching videos in his room. And one of my buddies said, you know, you should really see what he's watching. Are you policing his videos? He might be watching porn. I'm like, my son is not watching porn in his room. And so I go in there and I check his video history, and he is on YouTube watching meal prep videos.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome.
So I get him for Christmas. I got him an Instapot with a Bluetooth that he can turn on. He's like, "This is the greatest thing ever." So he's actually our food editor. He's always sharing these recipes. He made like twice baked sweet potatoes for Christmas dinner. He's like totally into it.
Oh,
but I got him an Instapot before I got mine, but he's been turning me on to like new spices and recipes. And I always like to hear what's out there because I think we can get kind of stuck in a rut. That's why I think what you're doing is super exciting. And the fact that you do new is the new normal, because left to my own devices, I would have wild rice cooked in bone broth and broccoli with ghee and salmon, would be like every night, it's like, and same with my husband. When I met him, he ate broccoli, brown rice, and chicken every night.
Yeah.
So we need a little bit of a shift. So what are some fun, different things that the average person wouldn't think about and some new spices and stuff? What can you share?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. And it's interesting, too, because what's new to one person isn't to the other. But we had a soup. We had a Thai chicken soup that, I just love. It has like coconut milk in it. And it has lemongrass. And lemongrass was new to a lot of people. And they're like, oh, I love lemongrass. So that was one that came up recently.
Okay, wait. Now, not to sound totally clueless here, because I love Thai food. And I normally will cheat and buy Thai sauce. So is lemongrass is it dried in a little jar? I'm not trying to sound clueless, but how do you get it?
You can actually get it like a stalk, it kind of looks like a green onion, but it's really hard, almost like a bark or something. It has a really citrusy, if you smelled it, you would recognize it because it is in Thai cuisine so commonly, but it's sort of like a very citrusy kind of flavor, sort of lemony, that's why I think it's called lemongrass.
Hence the name.
So I always try and have a few new things on the menus to get, stretch people out of their comfort zone, but then also have, substitution ideas. So that way, if they aren't able to find it at their local grocery store, but lemongrass is actually usually commonly found at grocery stores, and it's a fun one.
Yeah, I've never looked. What about oils? What are some of your favorite oils?
Yeah, so olive oil, avocado oil I like because the smoke point is a little bit higher, which means you can take it to a higher temperature before it's going to start smoking, and which would cause make it more carcinogenic. So those two, and then coconut oil is another go-to of mine. So and
I've been a big fan of avocado. I've been using a lot of it lately.
I also like toasted sesame oil more for the flavor. So if you're going to do Asian food, just a little bit goes a long way, but just adding a little toasted sesame oil to maybe some cauliflower rice just adds that really nice flavor.
Yummy. That is my latest favorite food is cauliflower rice. I'm just completely hooked on it.
Well, and especially now because you can get it pre-made in grocery stores, which, it's just, there's nothing added except for cauliflower. So Trader Joe's and Costco, most stores now carry pre-made cauliflower rice, which is such a time saver in terms of meal prep. So I love it. It is
fantastic. We literally have in our freezer. So we have Butcher Box shoved in our freezer with tons of, so Butcher Box and Vital Choice have taken over our freezer.
Yep.
And then we go to Trader Joe's once a month to make a big haul, and we get loads of cauliflower rice and then their fire roasted onions and peppers. And it's those two things, you can do so much stuff with those things. So it can just save us. If we're out of town and we come home, we've got no fresh vegetables, we've at least got cauliflower rice. So it has been awesome. So I was going to ask you about quick recipes where you don't have to prep. Obviously, cauliflower rice from Trader Joe's in the bag would probably count. What else? What other some little gems like that?
Pre-chopped vegetables. I think sometimes people look at them and they think maybe it's not as healthy or it's too expensive, but so many stores now have these pre-chopped vegetables that you can just, toss with some olive oil and roast, and they're delicious. And butternut squash is one that anymore it's always available pre-chopped. So I say go for it. There's no reason why you shouldn't, buy the pre-chopped version if it's available. So, having that and then maybe some fish, and it's a nice, easy meal that comes together quickly. So it's always good to have some of those that you have in your back pocket that you can just pull out and use.
Yeah, we've been getting cauliflower squash noodles at Whole Foods, which I'm just love and fantastic. Because, we got NutriBullet sent me their whole veggie bullet with all the stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like, this is a lot of work. It looks fun. But then again, I could just go down to Whole Foods or Trader Joe's and buy it already done. And I'm completely happy with that. So I agree. And doing zucchini noodles with little sesame, that sesame oil, so good.
Yeah.
So delicious. So love to throw you a little curveball.
Okay.
And I just want to let everyone know listening, you're going to get free recipes. So stay with us. You're getting free recipes. Yay, yay, yay. But before that, what is one thing you do every day, Allison, that you feel like makes the biggest difference in your life?
So I thought about this because I know you asked this, and most people say meditation, which I do and I love. But I think at the core, the thing that I do every day that is my must do, and that's my sleep. I have to get 8 to 9 hours. I cannot sacrifice my sleep. So that's
I am right there with you. It's funny. I just went to a Tony Robbins event, and Tony Robbins events, literally, they tell you they start at 9 and they go till 11 or 12 at night. And I'm like, running the numbers. I'm like, well, but wait a minute,
Yeah.
And, so I was like, that's so not happening for me because I am not getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep. I'm just not going to do it. Like, I'm willing to miss exercise for a couple of days, but I'm not going to not eat correctly. Like, I'm sorry. They were passing out like rolls and, wrap sandwiches. And I had a whole thing of bars and green drinks. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I'm right there with you. Now, we always do fun giveaways, but I think you have one of the most fun giveaways with what you're doing here with your recipes. So tell everyone what you're giving them.
Yeah, so it's the meal. I'm actually doing a meal plan. So it's, the grocery list and then all of your instructions. So you can go into the kitchen and spend an hour or two doing your prep. And then the rest of the week, just try it for a week and let me know how it goes. But I guarantee you it'll be, the easiest meals you've ever made. So I'm giving that away. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. So easy, fresh, delicious. You'll know exactly what to do because you have the grocery list and what to do to prep. Easy to make. I am so on this one. I'm excited about it. So I'm doing it too. And you'll be able to get it at jjvirgin.com/prep dish. And again, you'll get the meal plans, grocery list, everything you need to do this, which I just love. And I super thank you. This is really cool stuff. Very exciting.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. This was great. Thank you.
You are welcome. All right. Now, after the break, I'm going to be answering a listener's questions. So stay with me.
When you make a small change to something you do every day, the impact over time can be huge. And when it comes to breakfast, you don't want to blow it because your breakfast sets the pace for your entire day. That's why JJ created the all-in-one plant-based breakfast shake to start your day right. Whether you are a vegan, vegetarian, or just looking to consume more plant-based foods, this breakfast shake is for you. It comes in 3 delicious flavors, vanilla, chocolate, and chai, and helps give you sustained energy, cuts cravings, and can melt pounds from your waistline. Visit jjvirgin.com/products to shift your fat loss and energy into high gear today.
Welcome back. This is the time where I answer a listener's question. And if you've been around the community, you know that I like to stock my Facebook page and Instagram. And Facebook's JJ Virgin Official. Instagram is jj.virgin with the little blue check. Both when I'm doing my Facebook Lives and just looking at all the posts and see the questions that get asked. And I'll tell you, I get asked all the time, I want to eat healthy, but it's too expensive. What do I do? So I just saw that literally a couple days ago again from Janet in Apple Valley. And I'm like, okay, here we go. This one to me is akin to the same one as, I want to eat healthy, cook healthy for my family. What do I do? So I'm going to give you a couple tips, and I'm going to also share with you something that happened for me that really opened my eyes to this because I was so determined to show people that did not cost more to eat healthy. And, and I was willing when I did this little experiment to say, okay, well, it costs a little bit more, but, you save it in the long run by not having those big hospital bills, medication bills, doctor bills, blah, blah, blah. But here's the deal. I went to the grocery store and I literally filled 2 carts for a family of 4. One, I put the stuff you would eat if you were following one of my programs, Virgin Diet, Sugar Impact Diet. And by the way, I included in that my shakes, and my bars. So it wasn't just, I added in the other stuff you would use if you were on my programs. And then the other one, kind of what a typical family trying to eat healthy would do. And what was crazy is, I don't remember the exact amount now, but it was somewhere in the neighborhood of, it was $35 less to eat on my program. And honestly, I didn't expect that. It wasn't like I went in the store and went, I'm going to make it cheaper and choose cheap stuff. I didn't do that. I chose the grass-fed beef. I chose the wild salmon. But here's what I didn't choose: processed food. You could put a bunch of nutritionists in a room. We will fight about everything. We're going to fight about paleo or vegan or fat or like everything. But we'll all agree that you should unprocess your diet. But here's another reason why. It saves you a load of money. You know what's expensive besides eating crappy food and hurting your health and then paying all the medical bills? What's expensive is all the processed food. So if you want to save money, and you know what's super cool is you can even go to Costco now and get organic and get grass-fed and get wild. Now, I love my buddies over at Butcher Box, and we'll put some cool information in the show notes at jjvirgin.com/prep dish, because I have a very cool affiliate relationship with them, and I love my buddies over at Vital Choice. So I literally have my freezer stocked with Butcher Box and Vital Choice and Thrive Market goodies. And it is fabulous and awesome. And you save money actually doing that. But you know what? Even if I didn't, you can get all of this stuff now at the grocery store. And if you're buying wild rice, if you're buying veggies, if you're buying lentils and nuts, that's not where the expense is. The expense is in all this processed stuff. Make your own salad dressing, save a fortune. And then you want to eat all those damaged oils and sugar. So that's my key takeaway. And that just fits in perfectly with Allison's freemium today, that again, you can get at jjvirgin.com/prep dish, because she's going to give you the grocery list and the recipes and the meal plans so that you can unprocess your diet, save cash, and eat healthier. And you know what? Exposure equals preference. You involve those kids, you get them helping you, and you'd be amazed what they will try, right? Because we tend to support what we create. So there it is. Now, remember, pop onto my social media and chat away. I'm always looking for cool things to bring up on the podcast. I super appreciate it. And I super appreciate the reviews on iTunes. Makes me so happy. This one's from Lady Alberg and says, so great, 5 stars. I listen religiously to JJ. With the shorter length of the podcast, it's easy to listen to in the car, and she gets right to the point in delivering such great information. She offers a wide variety of topics, so it always keeps me listening. This is super valuable. Thank you. When I designed this podcast, I thought, I know me, and I am busy, and I think you're probably as busy or busier. And so my biggest goal was to set something that would give you actionable items that you could do right away with super cool, interesting guests. I'm lucky because I have some really amazing connections out there, so that you would listen, go, okay, now I can do this. Like today you went, all right, you know what? I could take an hour a week because actually I'll save time and prep some stuff and get organized. And, it's cool is you could even order groceries probably off of Amazon or Instacart or one of those things. So I can do this. And then we give you, of course, the tools of exactly what you need to do. Plus you learned the little lemongrass secret. I did not know that one. It's like one of those things I thought I only got to have when I went to a restaurant. I'm like, why the heck have I been buying lemongrass? Anyway, so that is really what I strive to do, and give it to you in very direct, I'm known to be direct, tough love with love, so that you can actually do something with it. So I appreciate that, Lady Alberg, and I just so appreciate the reviews. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you feel so inclined, I'd super appreciate it if you would leave a review. It helps a ton. People go looking for shows and they're going to do it based on what they see and read. So if you're loving it, can you just share the love a little bit? I really, really, really appreciate it in advance. And of course, if you're there, subscribe and then share it with your pals. Alrighty. Thank you. See you next week.